guys, welcome to Sippin Spillin with Syd and Frankie tonight from 3 Mississippi. Mike is
working
hard at work. Yes, he's a little busy, so he was actually supposed to come with us tonight where I'm wearing a fabulously hideous Christmas sweater that actually
I think it's more on the hideous side.
comes with a cup holder, except my cup's too big to fit in it, but it'll hold your cup. It's like really big too, but anyway.
Yeah, you got like the biggest size that they had.
Well, they only had one left, so I had to get the large. So I'm kind of swimming in it, but it's fine. It's not a problem.
Yeah,
so,
a little bit.
Anyway, so we're getting ready to go to my friend's Bunco party, her Christmas party.
Did we tell them the story of Bunco?
Yes, we have.
Oh, we have.
Which is actually where we got the cat that you see in a lot of videos, Mr. Bunco, and how he got his name, because I want him as a substitute player.
That's how basic we were that night.
Well, I was like, what else am I gonna, you know?
Plus, it's iconic.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna really like keep with that name, but now we pretty much just call him Mr. Bunk or.
And he knows his name, so there's no change.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late in the game.
But it's fine. It's fine, and it kind of, in a weird way,
fits him.
Yeah. So, because normally I would not name an animal like I never would name a cat Fluffy, or
she would never name a cat Brownie or Fluffy or like anything like that.
Like nothing cutesy or an inanimate object or anything like that.
She thinks that all animals need names, not like Brownie
like real names
or Mr. Fluff Pants. No, they need like names. Like my cat's name is Brutus, her cat's name is Marty, Lundy,
we call him
Skylar. That's true. We call him Martine because it's a long story.
Because he likes cheese.
Yeah.
So we call him Martine because he likes quesadillas specifically.
Yeah,
so we think he's Mexican.
Yeah.
So we call him Martine.
Yeah. Like, and he the weird thing is he likes cheese, but specifically he goes crazy for like that Mexican style cheese.
Like any quesadilla.
That's what he goes. It's like catnip.
He does quite enjoy it. It's odd, but true. So anyway, so that's what we're going to this evening. So Frankie's gonna be hanging out with her friend there while I'm hanging out with the grown-ups, and then then we'll scoot on home. But it's all good.
We get to go to dinner. You gotta stay there.
We're just above. For me. Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of snacks and goodies and stuff. I'm not worried. It's totally.
You gonna lose another cat or lose for another cat or donkey?
I'm not sure if we're actually playing around a Bunco tonight. I think we are, but I'm not sure.
We'll see. I think that you guys are. I think she moved it up because my choir concert. They moved it up because of something.
I have no idea.
And my choir concert, because it's at Beth's house.
Right.
So part of the reason she moved it up was because of my choir concert. She wanted to go, but because she missed the last one.
She wasn't in town.
Who goes randomly to Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, honey, they had it was her
Georgia.
It was Ryan's work Christmas thing. So
work Christmas thing?
Yeah, the Christmas party thing.
Oh.
But, yeah, so
okay,
they were gone for a couple days.
You're excused. Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got that going on tonight, and then tomorrow's our big holiday parade in town, and
it might get canceled because the rain.
Well, we'll see what happens.
But they're
it's supposed to.
They probably won't.
You're gonna have to let me finish the sentence there, youngin.
Well, I don't know my life.
Yeah, clearly. So it is, as it stands right now, it is still on, and the rain is supposed to not be bad tomorrow evening. It's supposed to not be bad, just cold. So, but our church is opening up stores, and we're going to be serving soup, so they needed gallons of soup. So I have this giant roaster pot, and I was prepping the soup, and I forgot to put the pan insert into it because we had just used it for some pork butts, and I forgot to put the insert that I had washed back into it, and I started putting the chickens and the chicken breasts and everything, basically the entire beginnings of the soup, into it, and then I turned around and saw that the roasting pan was still sitting over there, so I had to transfer everything over and then clean out the thing really well. I mean, you can cook in just that, but it's just not as ideal. It's more of a direct heat, and I want it to be more of a all around kind of a slow cooker situation. So, but I've got that started, so when I get home tonight I can start it, and then in the morning I can take the chickens out. I got to take all the meat off the bones, and then I can add the last few ingredients that don't need to be cooked quite as long for the soup tomorrow. So
you can cook in the other part? You don't have to put
You
it in the
can.
roasting cup?
Yes, but it cooks a little differently, and then obviously you can't lift it out, and it's a lot harder to clean because you can't just stick that whole thing in the sink because that's where all the electric stuff is. So you could, but I don't recommend it.
Can you do that with crock pots too?
No,
No.
you cannot. At least not any of the crock pots that I have, and I wouldn't, again, wouldn't recommend it. But that's fine. It's not the end. And I ordered. I did. I transferred everything over, cleaned it out. It's fine. And I did order. I found a 10-quart crock pot.
A 10-quart?
Yeah.
That's a lot of quarts.
Yeah. I had a bunch of crock pots over the years. Okay. Over like the 20 years of my married life.
I'm gonna just call them pots because they were like half crock pots.
Well, they were like normal sized crock pots, but they
worked halfway.
Well, that's because they were old. Some of them were like 20 years old. One of them was a hand-me-down, so I think it was closer to like 25, 30 years old. Oof. And it got to the point where it wasn't working. So anyway, when we moved, I kept thinking like, oh, I'll get it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I don't want to buy a new crock pot, and I would just make it work. But it was like, it would scorch it on the bottom and then it'd be cold on the side and it was just not a good thing. So then when we realized we were going to be moving, I was like, well, I'm just going to wait to buy a new crock pot until after we move, and I'll just throw these out because there's no point. I'm not even going to give these away because they're like that bad. Right. So anyway, I got a new one when we got here, which is a very nice crock pot in the sense that it has the latching lid.
It's a Pioneer Woman.
It's a Pioneer Woman one, but
it's pretty nice.
Yes, but I don't like. Here's my issue with crock pots. Okay, it has to have a light on it or some indicator that I know that it's like on and working. Okay, and this one does not have that. It also, I don't know why crock pots just can't tell you. Stop mocking me. I don't know why you're so mean to your mother.
You know what's funny is that you don't need a sign language interpreter.
I am my own sign language
You are your own.
Except
with mostly like this, though.
Yeah, but that's because, okay. So that's not the point. So the point is that this crock pot is a lot smaller. It's probably, I think it's only like maybe a 6-quart. And so it's not very big, and it's fine for if I'm just cooking something for the 3 of us. But if I'm cooking something to take to like a church function that I need like a vat of soup for, it's not really great. So this is what I would like. And I found one that was close, but not completely. I want one that the lid latches. I want one that I can see what the temperature is, that I can verify that it's on with some kind of light or indicator or something. The delay start, the whole 9 yards. Like, that's what I want.
Do you really need something to tell you that it's on when you turn it on? Because
the one with the dial, it's really hard to tell if it's on or not sometimes. And then the one, I didn't have it plugged in all the way, and I thought it was on.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, if it had a light or made a noise or, I don't know, did something, then at least I'd know it was on. But anyway, so I found one that's actually pretty cool, and I can actually take the pot out of it and cook on the stovetop and then put it into the crock pot thing. So, but it wasn't going to be here in time. It was like a Black Friday or Cyber Monday special thing, but it's 10 quarts. So that was very exciting. So for future things that I might need for like functions and big get-togethers or whatever, that will be good. And the lid seems to be pretty secure. It doesn't quite clamp, but it seems like it kind of like seals in place from the reviews and everything. We'll see. But anyway, so that's my rant on crock pot. So I'm bringing this giant vat of roasting pan of.
Somebody should like go through
and it's like 4 gallons
videos on both accounts and see how many times she rants about crock pots, because she's done it a fair amount of times, and I know she has.
I feel very strongly about crock pots because I've had a lot of crock pots over the years, and they all were different, and some have been better than others.
Is that a frog or a cat?
That's a frog. Or a bird. I don't know. It's
a bird.
It's a plane. It's Aquaman. I don't know. It's raining, obviously, right now. But yeah, so it is what it is. But I don't think that is a frog. I think it's something else.
I hope it's maybe it's a toad. Are frogs and toads the same thing?
Well, they're very, very similar, but they're
Look at him, little firecracker. Oh, you just got my jeans
I was gonna say
wet.
he just was outside there.
Little turd. Probably what you were doing.
Anyway,
Huh?
yeah, that is exactly what he was doing. I could see him over there. Anyway, but yeah, got that tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. Otherwise, we are going to be eating chicken soup for a while.
A long time.
For a long time, but that's fine. I can freeze some of it.
They'll
I
probably
can jar
still
some
do
of
the
it.
dinner. They just won't do the parade.
They might, yeah, they might still do that. And then the next night is the like I'm gonna make some mashed potatoes for her to take to
Oh, is
the
that
church
when the party
dinner.
is? Oh no, that's just wait.
That's
oh,
the
yeah,
next night, yeah. So I feel like I'm just kind of cooking this week,
Wait.
which is fine. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. So anyway,
not all there.
we know that's a common problem.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out which day is the youth party. Is that tomorrow?
No.
No.
That's not even on the books yet.
Is it?
That I
don't
know
even-
of.
It's at. You can ask Beth when
Beth
we go
did mention
because
it,
she's
so.
hosting it, and Miss Katie said something, and she told us the day it was. I just forget.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, so obviously with the weather this week, a little bit of a setback with continuing the chicken coop. It does give me time to go into town and get more cement during business hours, and hopefully I'm gonna have to bring a tarp with me or something so that it doesn't get, wet between there and here. And then I'll just buy another tarp. I think we've got
we
all
don't
our
have
tarps in
any.
use. So I'll just buy a tarp while I'm there and the cement, and then
everybody
gift
will
wrap
be happy.
it. Yeah.
Gift wrap it.
And then that way, when we do get a break in the weather, potentially this weekend, we're supposed to,
Yeah.
and then it's supposed to rain again. So hopefully we can get to the next phase and get a few more things done on that. There will be times when we're working in the rain, but it's kind of hard to set cement in the rain.
Yeah.
There's certain things that it's like, well, we can't really do that in the rain. We kind of have to wait. But there's certain parts of it that, yeah, it's okay. It's a little drizzly out. We can still do it.
Yeah. I think it's mostly just this
The
weekend.
setting of
If there's a break in the rain, our goal is to get all those posts set.
Yeah.
Do all the concrete, get it all set, and then we'll have to go from there. I don't know what the next step he wants to do is.
Yeah, we'll just kind of have to
play
evaluate.
it by
We
ear.
still have to get obviously more materials and things too, but we'll kind of see where we are and just kind of go from there. Because we didn't want to end up having to we didn't want to buy all the materials at once, because then you've got this big giant pile of wood and materials that you're trying to keep clean and dry and out of the way. And
at some point you might change your mind about something. Yeah, I know. He's just like,
you're just going and digging in the dirt and then walking on us, handsome. That's not cool, bro.
yeah, it's all over.
I know. Yeah, that's all
okay.
right. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more done. It is giving me a chance to, get some things done around here with the cooking and stuff that we've got for these events this week. And then I've got some just cleaning and whatever that I want to get done this week. And then I thought this week I was going to have time to do the table. I may not. If I do, it's going to be like Thursday or Friday. So I'm still hoping to get my table refinished. Some things kind of came up this week that I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to now. So we'll have to see. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Everything kind of it's like my one last thing in the house that was sort of on my immediate list that I could do, that I have the stuff for, that I kind of wanted to get done. And it was like the last thing. So there's still a few other things, like I want to change some of the doorknobs out and some of the light fixtures, but some of those things are going to be a little bit later down the road, just because they're not a high priority. And there's nothing wrong with the ones that are there now. They're just not like my ideal. So we'll get there. It's just going to be like slow and steady, I think. And then I think we're going to have, once we get to a certain point with the chicken coop, then we're going to have to kind of really evaluate like what's the next big goal after the chicken coop with Dad, because I know it's going to depend too on when he really, like when that's finished.
Yeah, but mostly I think already, because it would be, I feel like the next thing would be fences. Because fixing all the fences.
That's what I
checking
think,
fences.
too.
And then after that would probably be starting the barn. But we wouldn't do that because by the time we're done with the chicken coop, here's my theory. By the time we're done with the chicken coop and I make sure that it's done, I'm not going to let him, because I was too young when we built the last one. So I was like 5. And I think we finished it probably when I was like 6 or 7 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, no, it was done. The chicken coop? Oh, it was done.
Was it? Oh, yeah, because we added on to it years later. That's why.
Yeah.
But I was too young and then it never got finished. So I wasn't there to like make sure it got done. This time I am. So it will be done.
There's certain let's explain.
Yeah.
Daddy is very good at doing a lot of projects.
Yeah.
And he's a very good builder. But there's little details that will drive her and I crazy that aren't really bad as far as the fact that like it's finished.
Yeah.
But it's not, in our minds, it's not like 100% finished.
Like when we did the remodels at the old house, right? In my room, I don't know if we ever really showed that, but we showed the room, but once we got to a certain point, he just kind of stopped. And my room didn't get 100% done, like all the tiles and whatever, until we like were about out. So that was a few month gap, and the only reason it got done was because we were leaving.
It was not the only reason. There was some other things that came up that, and that's what happens a lot of times too, is he'll get a project a certain way done and then something else takes precedent and he has to like, it needs his attention and he has to go deal with it. So we're not trying to,
just squirrel sometimes.
Well, yeah, but, and it does, like, it's not to bag on Mike. It's just that there's only so much time and attention that he has to
which is fair.
To do these things. And so, but for us, sometimes it's like, oh, I really want to finish this part, you know, like, oh, this last little thing that would just be the finishing, like the edge work on this or the whatever, like we just want this done. So that's my goal, is that we'll be able to kind of get that in all of our minds 100% done before we move on to the next project.
You did it. But what I was saying was, I think by the time we get the chicken coop done, it's probably gonna be, because we're in the rainy season right now.
We'll have to go, we'll have to see.
My estimate, by the time the run is done and the brooder is done, by everything, I'm not just talking about the coop.
Right.
It's probably already gonna be spring, maybe almost summer. Because
no, it won't take that long.
Sometimes things can take that long to get completely done.
Well, I don't think it's gonna take that long.
Hopefully it doesn't. I'm hoping it doesn't. But it also, we're in the rainy season, so some things might get stalled out a few weeks.
Well, yeah, and then we have to also build a tractor.
We have to build a tractor?
A chicken tractor.
Oh, a chicken tractor. Yeah, but that'll be pretty quick. That's
like a couple hours.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
The last one took like a weekend, so it might be a weekend because we built. Remember the fancy one?
We did it in one day. The last one we did in one day, like half a day.
Did we?
Yeah, it was a couple hours.
Oh, you're right, because I did most of it with Dad, and then you and Dad filmed the rest of it, so there was a few hour gap. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
After we finish the chicken coop, though, I think it's gonna be fences. He's probably gonna want to do the garden, but I'm gonna make him do the barn.
Well, the barn's probably gonna
get
pushed out longer. The garden will be done first.
You're right, because it'll be warm by the time we're done with all that.
The barn's
and
not gonna be a
projects.
huge priority right at that point.
So I think the barn will probably be started hopefully next November, October, that time
at the
year.
latest. I think it may end up getting started a little bit before then, depending on how long the fencing takes, because the fencing has to happen first.
And honestly, the fencing really shouldn't take that long. It's mostly writing fence lines, checking what's good, what's not.
Well, we have to change.
And then,
we have to change some of the fence lines, so that's redoing.
And fixing. First thing you want to do is fix what's broken. After that, then we can change it.
Well, no, because there's no point in fixing some of the fences that we're not going to use that fence line that are broken.
Well, I don't know what's there.
That's what I'm saying. Is there's some
if I
areas
knew what was
that,
there, then I could.
Yeah, Dad and I went all around on that side, and we kind of know, I think now, kind of what he wants to do with that, and which parts we're going to use, and which parts we're going to abandon, and which parts we have to like clean up to see what needs done to them, because some have a lot of undergrowth. So we'll see. Lots to do, but it's time for us to go.
Yeah.
We got a scoot. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We will see you tomorrow, and we hope you are enjoying this lovely holiday season. We are going to go do that ourselves right now. Bye.